Team 7 number 5, written by Justin Jordan, art by Jesus Marino and Pascal Elixe. So, last issue wrapped up the whole arc of the Black Diamond or whatnot, and Slade Wilson was offered special stuff. So, this issue picks up in the Pacific now. Not like Team 7 now, which was actually then, but like when all the other books are taking place now. And we see this giant-ass ship, and Deathstroke jumps onto it. He takes out some soldiers. He makes his way into a single room where Lynch is, the leader, founder of Team 7. He's like, "Hi, Deathstroke. Do you want to talk to me about Caitlin Fairchild?" So then we go to 5 years ago, where Caitlin Fairchild, the daughter of Alex Fairchild, is working in a prosthetic center, and there is a woman there who I guess had her arm blown off in some sort of military thing, and she is currently working on a replacement bionic arm. And the lady is amazed by it. She's like, "Oh my god, it's incredible. I feel like it's actually my hand. I can feel it. You and that Dr. Henshaw over there are doing great work." And then we see Dr. Hank Henshaw working on this stuff, and it's like, "Yep, our next step is to get you walking again because you're stuck in a wheelchair, but that's going to take some time. Can I talk to Caitlin alone real quick?" And so the lady leaves. I think she's important. Her name is Max. Just letting you know in case she comes up later. But at that point, Caitlin's like, "Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Henshaw." And he's like, You don't actually have to thank me every time we're alone, but, this is your father and Mr. Lynch who are funding this whole thing." And he's like, "All right, look, what I need you to do right now is file this actual, paperwork instead of the digital stuff we get. Can you do that?" And she's like, "Oh, of course, anything." And he's like, "Right, all right." So then he goes into a back, super top secret part of the lab where he needs a retinal scan. And inside is this, as far as I can tell, completely bionic man that is being built from the ground up, and they call it the Spartan Project, and they're working on the biointerface and all that, but apparently it's all going to be used to better understand how to repair soldiers when they come back. And Henshaw says they barely even crack the surface of what he can do as his eyes open up and they're glowing red. So then we go to Slade, who is in the gym working out, and Alex Fairchild comes in like, "Hey, Slade, you should probably be relaxing like everybody else on the team. Why are you here working out?" He's like, "Why are you in the gym?" He's like, "I'm in the gym physically, but mentally, I brought beers. So here you go. Here's a beer." And basically the conversation comes down to you're lucky to be alive. You should be spending this time relaxing with your family. Speaking of which, where's your family? And Deathstroke's like, well, he's like, "Okay, maybe, just maybe, you need to figure out what it is you're doing all this for. I do this for my daughter and my wife, but what are you doing this for, Slade? Because something has to matter to you." So then elsewhere in Team 7 HQ, Dinah is talking to Lynch, basically saying, "Hey, why did you send us on that clearly suicide mission?" And Lynch is like, "It wasn't totally a suicide mission. You survived after all." And he shows an image of a North Korean orphanage where apparently it's one of the earliest documented instances of metahuman emergence, where this girl got powers that allowed her to change the geometry of space-time, and in so she turned all of her fellow orphans into Cronenbergian nightmares. And Lynch is like, that's the future. These powers are popping up more and more and more. So many people have them, and we're trying to keep this little Team 7 thing out of the hands of Washington so that they don't get greedy with it. We're doing the right thing here. Okay? I do believe in you. It wasn't a suicide mission. I believe you can handle this. So, that's that. Meanwhile, Caitlin, as she's filing the paperwork, a red alert goes off. It says a mimetic entity is detected. And as she looks down the hallway, she sees, as far as I can tell, a cybernetic rabbit with a chainsaw attachment on it. And Caitlin proceeds to throw her clipboard at it and bash its head in. And she's like, "Okay, well, that's weird." And then she hears Max calling from down the hall saying, "Caitlin, I need you," or "Caitlin, I need help." And she follows the sound of Max's voice into the super top secret room where Max is inside, seemingly completely transformed into a cyborg. And all she can do is repeat, Caitlin, I need help. Caitlin, I need help. Caitlin, I need help. So then we cut. Oh, and there's a few other cyborgs in the room as well. Cut to now again. And Lynch says that Caitlin Fairchild is dead. Which, by the way, if you hadn't been reading Ravagers, she's in that. So clearly something's wrong. But anyway, Deathstroke says, just like you, Lynch, and he fires off a few shots. Lynch stops them with a telekinetic ability, just in midair, and he's like, things have changed. I've got more powers. And he pulls back the gun away from Deathstroke's hand. Deathstroke's like, does anyone on Team 7 not have superhuman abilities? And Lynch is like, there's like one or two of them. And basically, Deathstroke's like, you knew I'd come here. Why are we even here? And he's like, do you know where we are? We're in the middle of the Pacific. Do you know what's underneath us? And he's like, but he's dead. And as we go underneath the water, we say, no, did you really think that we could destroy something, someone that killed an entire country? I brought you here, Slade, because he's coming back, as we see a hand extending from underneath the ocean. Okay, so this is definitely a book of two arcs. We finished up the first arc entirely, and the second one's just totally different. I like the idea of there being kind of like a government-sanctioned basilisk, because Basilisk's whole thing is, at least from what I understand in the other books it's been featured in, is basically the idea of, hey, superhumans are going to become a thing, and we need to stop them now. And I like the government-sanctioned idea of like, yes, but how do we do that without the power falling into the wrong hands as well? And Team 7 is kind of the answer to that. I think that's a good concept. Where it's falling apart for me here is it just seems to be a little bit unfocused. For instance, the Caitlin Fairchild thing, I'm sure they have an idea of how it's going to tie in the plot. Justin Jordan's got that planned out, but like, I don't know. The fact that it's just being set up now in what I know to be the final arc of this book, whether he knew it or not by this point, I don't know. It just seems like there was a larger plan here that then had to be immediately cut down because the book got canceled very early on. So I don't blame the writer for that, but the book's quality does suffer because of it. And it does feel like what was probably a much longer drawn out thing has been cut down to what we're seeing here, and it's suffering because of it. So overall, art-wise, this was a very good, solid issue. I don't really have an issue with it. It just feels like a very, not even dense, just very fast-paced. Like, we're just hitting on the beats we need to in order to get to where we gotta go. Like, this issue was like, we've introduced Caitlin Fairchild, we've introduced these cyborgs, we've introduced that they're going to be bad, and we've introduced that in the modern day, something else is going on. So with all that combined, yeah, there's a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 6 flat. It's a 6 flat. I know that kind of sounds harsh with what I was just saying about it, but it's got issues. It does have a lot of problems with it. And it's never quite done anything to really grab my attention and think that it's going to be doing anything amazing either. So it is kind of falling because of its previous issues, but I'm trying to stay objective. It's still just a 6 flat.